Well, I think they'll have a strong statement about how concerned they are. And
North Korea is like, so what?
Yeah, well, they obviously weren't deterred by the existing sanctions, and with good reason. Every step North Korea takes closer to a true deliverable nuclear weapons capability, the more they believe that the United States and other countries that are worried will come to try and negotiate with them. So it's not that their successes breed stronger reactions against what they're doing. They think that the rest of the world will play into their hands. And for 20 years, they've been right about that.
Well, take a look at this. I mean, today, the one country that congratulated them was Iran. Last April, North Korea attempted to launch this rocket, and it failed. Now, suddenly, 6 months later, they got the technology and they're good. So, of course, it's fair to be suspicious that Iran helped them. And now that they have the ability to do the long-range missile, the question is, what can they reach, and at what point do they miniaturize a warhead, a nuclear warhead, so they can hit us? And we know that they're working with Iran. None of it's a good picture.
No, look, they've been working with Iran on ballistic missile technology for 15 years. They both started with the same Soviet-era Scud missile, and they both have the same objective. This is a delivery system for nuclear weapons. It has nothing to do with launching weather or communication satellites, which is what both North Korea and Iran say.
Well, NBC report tonight I thought was sort of interesting. It says the object that North Korea sent into space on Wednesday appears to be, quote, tumbling out of control. So whatever they sent is tumbling out of control. And when is it going to tumble into this atmosphere?
Look, it could be an inflated beach ball. We don't know what they put into orbit because the purpose ultimately is not to put something in orbit. It's to put it on target somewhere around the world. And, you know, you'd have to look at the shape of the orbit to worry about where it might come down. But the fact that they got something into orbit at all is noteworthy. South Korea, an incredibly prosperous society, has itself failed to orbit satellites. So for this impoverished regime, the most heavily sanctioned on Earth, to accomplish this tells you a lot about what the effect of UN security sanctions is.
Well, and as well as the six-party talks, which have been likewise unsuccessful to convince North Korea not to pursue this.
Right. I'm sure the Obama administration within days will be saying that we're going to get back seriously to the six-party talks to deal with this. You know, we already see in the mainstream media people saying this is not a big deal, get ready for the next crisis. It is a big deal, every step of the way.
I'll tell you why it is a big deal. I know very few Americans get into North Korea. We've taken our show 3 times to North Korea. Inside there, every single day, all the citizens are marching. They're absolutely convinced that every single American, every single day of the week, is trying to think of how to kill North Korea. I mean, there is such an incredible disconnect. I mean, the people of North Korea are absolutely in terror of us, and they are preparing to do something to us.
Yeah, well, I think they believe they can intimidate the United States, and they've succeeded in that before. And China, which could bring enormous pressure on North Korea, gets away with issuing statements about regret. Look, if the Chinese were enforcing the Security Council sanctions that existed, it would be very hard, if not impossible, for North Korea to make this progress. The Chinese are enabling the North Koreans. They're allowing them to proceed because it suits their interest to do so.
They are convinced they are still award us, and they've won. They even have a trophy in the Pyongyang harbor. It is the 1968 capture of the Pueblo that's sitting there and is listing in the harbor. So, I mean, there is an incredible story that, you know, that just goes on there. Anyway, Ambassador, nice to see you, sir.
Thank you.